Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. Fergal Harrington is in from Intro Matchmaking. Hello, Fergal.
Hello there, Trina.
Did you see the photos of Eamonn Holmes and the girlfriend?
I did. True love?
Yeah.
Are we too cynical?
Am I allowed to give an opinion on this?
Yeah, I'd love it.
I just don't understand it. So she's a relationship counsellor. I don't know if that's how they met or whether they met in a different way. But she's 42 and he's 64, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's really struggling with his health at the moment. And he's in this new relationship. Yeah. And Ruth Langsford is gone, his wife of 20-something years. I just don't really get it.
It's a lot to take in very suddenly, and when you see it, I think most people will look at it from a little bit of a cynical point of view, thinking, is it really actually love, or what's going on there, or is this massively fast rebound thing? But then you start to say to yourself, am I being cruel? Maybe it is true love. Maybe they are actually really fond of each other. Maybe there is a history there that we didn't know about, and maybe this could potentially work. But when you're looking at it from the outside in, it does just appear like it could just be about money at times.
I don't know. Would he have money? Would he?
Oh,
I don't know whether he really would.
Well, it could be money or power or fame, or just that feeling of, okay, I'll be seen now if I'm, with this person. And all of you haters are just going to have to go and do one. You don't know what's going on with our private lives.
Like, I mean, if it was, she started going out with, I don't know, I know this sounds like double standards, but if she started going out with Ryan Reynolds or something, you might go, fair enough, like, she couldn't resist. But Eamonn Holmes.
You're not seeing the Eamonn Holmes thing, Trina, is that right?
He's safe for me. He's safe.
He's not up on your bedroom wall.
I just don't. And I, do you know what I'd be worried about? He'd be making a fool of himself.
You would be thinking he'd be making a fool of himself.
Possibly, yeah.
Or the ex, or Ruth.
Yeah.
It's a little
embarrassing her.
It's a little bit embarrassing for her, I would say. It's a bit quick. It's a bit too sudden, a bit too in your face and public, I think, for Ruth. I mean, it's only been like a wet week since the breakup, no?
So here's the thing, right? When your ex moves on very quickly and very publicly, so you could be just an ordinary Joe Soap, but you'd be known in your area.
Yeah.
And all the friends of the family are like, you were together for like 16, 17 years. The next thing.
Did it mean nothing?
Next thing, they've got a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend after no time.
What I will say on that is, not to make sweeping generalizations, but women often tend to spend an awful long time dissecting what went wrong with the relationship, and they'll talk to their friends and get onto WhatsApp groups. How could I have been different? What could I have said there in this situation? Should I have become more open to that or this? Or should I have been less annoying when he was just wanted to go out with the lads? Women do that all the time, and they beat themselves up after a breakup, whereas the guy has a shower and moves on because he's just usually not capable of...
They're dirty dogs.
Dirty
dogs.
A lot of the time people will say, look, guys like being kept and being minded and being looked after, and they're less independent than women, which is absolutely true. But there's a certain amount of balance that's required where guys should probably take a little bit of a look at themselves and say, what did I actually contribute to that relationship that actually made it fail in the end? Men don't tend to do that an awful lot. We'd often get calls from people and say, the guys would be like, yeah, no, broke up their relationship for 25 years, broke up there about 3 months ago. It's like, and a woman will call and she'll say, yeah, I mean, I had a very long relationship with my childhood sweetheart. We're together for 30 years and it's ended 12 years ago. So I think now I might be ready to move on. I'm like, whoa. Because usually she has that sort of maternal guilt whereby, okay, we've got the kids and I want to make sure that they're all, fed and watered and schooled and they're going off to college now and they're my priority. So a lot of women focus solely on the kids and other people, whereas the men focus a lot on themselves. Is that a massively, dangerous statement?
True.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying it. I'm a guy and I honestly do see it, and I've seen it for 14 years. And it's very evident. So
is it just in our makeup? We're just differently wired.
Yeah.
The men want to move on quickly.
Yeah, but you could also...
no offence kind of thing, but you were great for the 17 years.
It's often the type when the guy says, well, no, it's not you, it's me, or, I don't really feel I want to have kids. But then they go off with Mary and they have a child within 9 months. So it's just a lot of the time people say things to people that they think will save their feelings when in fact it's actually not the case at all. They just say what they think is the right thing to say to get out of this situation. But I think men need to do a little bit more analytics and women need to maybe pull back and do less and stop beating themselves up so much.
Yeah. You need to be maybe a little bit more discreet.
Discreet in terms of what?
You are dating somebody 3 weeks after a long-term relationship ends to not embarrass the other person.
That's absolutely fair. But also you need to be out of the relationship for such a long time that you're not going to be talking about the ex constantly when you go on this first date with the next person. And there's nothing worse than saying, oh yeah, it ended because they were this or they were that or they drank too much or they were too aggressive or they were too whatever. You need to say, no, it wasn't meant to be. The two of us drifted apart and now I'm fully mentally ready to move on. But if all you do going on a first date is talk about how annoying the ex was, it doesn't sound like you're ready.
Right, Fergal, I'm going to put you on the spot today.
Go on.
Topics to talk about on a first date.
Oh, I would say keep it as light as possible. Know enough about the other person that you actually seem interested without like sounding stalky. And don't be negative at all. Do not talk about exes. Do not talk about the price of the food that you're about to eat. Do not analyse who should pay for what. Try and not complain about your job. If you complain about your job on a date, which a lot of people do, they moan about the boss, moan about whatever, their colleagues, we're like, well, solve it. Do something about it. Don't just be sitting here looking at me, expecting me to listen to this nonsense negativity and for you not to do anything about it. So if you don't like your situation, change your situation. So if you sound like a real moany negatron, they're not going to want a second date with you. That's more about what not to talk about, I would say. Keeping it positive, asking them questions without being an interviewer. You know, don't make them feel like they're being interrogated. Do ask and show, wow, I'm really interested. You said you're a pediatric nurse. That's amazing. You know, ask and show that you're engaged enough to actually want to learn about what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so you can talk about your job.
I would talk about where at holidays, about where you like to go, what you like to do, your hobbies and interests, without sounding like, well, I go running, twice a day and I do 10k a day, because they're going to think, okay, obsessive person.
But see, this is why it's a good job I'm not on the dating scene. I have no hobbies.
That's the thing. Well, you're working too hard.
No hobbies. What do you do? Nothing. I go to work and I come home.
You multitask.
I'm a catch.
Yeah. No, you might, like, people are so busy. People are running around the place. They're like headless chickens the entire time, between kids and drop-offs and this, that and the other. People have very little time. So when they go out on a date, they need to be able to unwind, just relax into it and just calm down and have an adult conversation.
Are most people that go to Intro, would they be of a certain stage in their life?
To be honest with you, they're coming in from the age of 20 now. They're younger and younger as the years go on since we opened.
So are they getting sick of the Tinders and all the rest?
Oh my God, completely. They're so fed up of it. And a lot of the time they wouldn't even go into it in the first place because they feel that people are playing fast and loose with their time and their emotions, and they're just saying, I'm not going to do that. I've seen what it does to the 30-something-year-olds. I'm not going to do that now. And a lot of the time as well, they're not, big drinkers. They don't go out in on a massive sort of bender on a Friday and Saturday night kind of thing.
They're mad into their health and the
really
gym
into
now,
health.
aren't they?
Massively so. And
so different to us.
So different to us. And, in terms of college, they're like, well, I've got my career lined up. I've got my education complete. I'm now ready for a relationship. I'm like, oh my God, go to Australia for a year, have the crack. But no, they're really mature. But the biggest cohort of people that would come in would be like from 30 to 48. That's the most densely populated. So people smack bang in the middle of, okay, my career is lined up. I know where I'm going in life. Now I really need to sort out this, future life partner situation. Because
is it often a second partner, like they may be separated or may have kids? Or
a lot of them are people who are coming in at its first time because they've been spending so much of their adult life growing and learning about who they are, where they wanted to be, climbing the ladder in the career that they're in, that they actually brushed the personal thing to the side. And then at 39, 40, they're like, oh, better hurry up and do this. And so it's a bit of a race to the finish line at times. So it can add more and more stress and pressure. So I do advise that people think about it and make a bit of a long-term plan earlier. Because in Ireland we tend to leave things go until the last minute, and then it's like, sure, we'll see how we get on and we'll take it from there. And we procrastinate all the time. We'd be a lot happier in ourselves, putting a lot less stress and pressure on ourselves if we just actually said, where do I want to be in 10 years' time? Do I want kids? Well, if I'm 38, I'm going to need to probably address that now, men and women. Whereas guys will a lot of the time wait until they're 48 and then they'll say, sure, I still want what I wanted when I was 35. It's like, well, you can't get that.
Isn't it funny how people have, financial planning and all that? They do all that, but they don't plan
a baby,
their relationships or their family. Well, maybe they do, but a lot of people don't. And then it's just, let's see what happens.
Some people have the most organised work routine and schedule in terms of career path. They know exactly where they want to be, in what department, what area, and they're unbelievable. But then when it comes to their personal life, it's a little bit of a mess. The more busy I am in terms of my career and the focus I put into that allows me to justify not focusing on my personal life.
Get on it. Intro Matchmaking. Fergal Harrington's in studio. It's Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.